At the start of the film, we are shown a meeting where several politicians and national security officers are present. Some of their captains have been captured by terrorists and sentenced to 5 months. A man named Jong Hyun, head of the security agency and the next prime ministerial candidate, proposes a rescue plan, but it isn't well received by others. However, his assistant, Won, manages to explain and reframe the plan, which convinces everyone. Jong Hyun, impressed by Won's skills, praises him and wishes he'd met him earlier, as it could have helped him become prime minister sooner. Later, we meet Won's daughter, Kyung-min, who is being sent abroad to study. As they drive to the airport, they stop at a gas station, where Won becomes suspicious of a boy who says their payment machine is broken and asks for cash. While traveling, a radio announcement warns of an incoming fog, urging drivers to be cautious. Ignoring the warning, a reckless streamer speeds on the highway and causes a massive accident, involving multiple vehicles, including military vans transporting dangerous dogs. Meanwhile, the boy at the gas station learns about the highway accident and, suspecting that Won might be involved, heads toward the scene to collect the money. On the highway, Won narrowly avoids the crash but is stuck. He informs his boss to send agents for a rescue, while his daughter, Kyung-min, grows frustrated and urges him to help the injured. Won checks on the accident victims and notices that soldiers are already there. One soldier is killed by the escaped dogs from the military vans, revealing that the dogs are vicious and dangerous. With many people stranded on the highway, their lives are now at risk due to these bloodthirsty animals. Won calls his boss again, but soon realizes his daughter is missing. Kyung-min, who had wandered off, encounters a dog behaving erratically, and in a tense moment, Won manages to find her just in time, sensing the danger posed by the dog. Before leaving, Won notices a strange marking on the dog, labeled E9, suggesting something more sinister about the situation. As Vaughn returns to his car, he notices soldiers talking to the doctor inside. Confused, Vaughn asks what's going on, which causes the soldiers to become tense and question him instead. Vaughn shows his ID, but the soldiers quickly tie him up with a handkerchief and restrain him with a training wheel. Growing frustrated, Vaughn demands answers from the doctor, warning him that he'll regret staying silent. The doctor, remaining calm, assures Vaughn that as long as he stays with him, he'll be safe. But if he interferes, everyone will die. The camera then shifts to the doctor's laptop, where it's revealed that he has been controlling all the dogs through his computer. The doctor targets one of the soldiers, ordering the dogs to attack him. As the dogs rush toward the soldier near their van, he manages to throw them back inside. While they've successfully captured most of the dogs, one still remains free, the elusive E9 dog. Unlike the others, this dog isn't restrained, and it's clear the doctor can't control it, making him visibly anxious. Meanwhile, a chopper arrives to transport the dog container to another location. At the same time, Joy, the boy from the fuel station, arrives on the highway, still trying to get his money from Vaughn. As Joy exits his vehicle, he notices the chaos near the dog container. The chopper begins lifting the container, but the doctor rushes forward, desperate to explain that the dangerous E9 dog isn't inside. However, before he can act, Vaughn grabs him and demands answers. The doctor reveals just one cryptic phrase: Project Silence. Before Vaughn can get more information, soldiers intervene. The doctor insists that removing the dogs from the area is the top priority. We then see a soldier holding a Chip E9's chip. It turns out that the doctor had been controlling the dogs through chips implanted in their bodies, but E9 had somehow removed its own chip, leaving it uncontrollable. Suddenly, E9 launches an attack on the chopper, injuring several soldiers. The damage causes the chopper to lose balance, crash into electrical wires, and fall to the ground. The dog container also crashes, releasing all the dogs. The doctor, checking his laptop, sees an error in the system. The dogs have been programmed to target 116 people, and they won't stop until their mission is complete. Chaos erupts as the dogs begin attacking everyone in the area, including a doctor. Amid the mayhem, one of the dogs attacks the doctor, causing him to drop his laptop. Just in time, Vaughn saves the doctor's life, helping him escape. Afterward, Vaughn grabs his daughter's hand, and together they prepare to leave the chaotic scene. As Vaughn and his daughter Kyung-min were driving on the highway, they saw Joy, the boy from the fuel station, desperately raising his hand for help. Kyung-min insisted that her father stop and assist him, so Vaughn allowed Joy to sit in the trunk of their car. However, before they could escape the highway, a burning, damaged chopper crashed onto the road, blocking their path. With no phone signal to call for help, Vaughn used his security radio to contact headquarters, requesting assistance and trying to learn more about the dogs. Curious about the situation, Vaughn began questioning the doctor. The doctor explained that he had originally created rescue dogs, but the military intervened and forced him to modify them into weapons for use in war. These dogs were now capable of extreme violence. Vaughn radioed his boss to ask if he knew anything about Project Silence, but his boss denied any knowledge of it. Vaughn then requested a SWAT team to rescue them, warning that a gas truck nearby could explode and endanger everyone. Realizing the severity of the situation, the group tied cloth around their mouths and made their way toward a bus. Meanwhile, the chopper, which had been hanging on the wires, finally crashed, causing a massive explosion and breaking the bridge ahead. The explosion created panic among the people. To calm everyone down, Vaughn revealed his security background and reassured them that he was in contact with the authorities. When asked why the dogs were attacking, Vaughn lied, claiming that a rabies-like virus had infected the dogs' brains, causing them to go crazy and attack people. He intentionally withheld information about the doctor's involvement, fearing that the crowd might turn on him. Joy, having overheard the truth earlier, confronted Vaughn about the lie. In response, Vaughn offered him $10,000 if he stayed quiet until everyone was rescued. Moments later, the SWAT team arrived, and Vaughn urged them to kill the dogs before attempting the rescue. However, the team reported that they hadn't seen any dogs outside. Suddenly, the dogs emerged from hiding and launched a brutal attack, killing many people, including several SWAT team members. Vaughn barely managed to save his daughter and hid her in another bus, where they found an elderly couple, 2 other survivors, and the doctor. Vaughn wanted to stay with them, but he had left his radio outside the bus and needed it to call for help. While Vaughn was outside retrieving the radio, the doctor revealed the full truth about Project Silence to the group. He explained that the dogs were originally created as rescue animals, but the military repurposed them into attack dogs for their own benefit. The most dangerous of them all was E9, the dog they were all trying to catch. E9 was the original dog, and all the other dogs were clones of him. During the experiment to make E9 more aggressive, the military had killed his pups in front of him, fueling his rage. Most terrifyingly, E9 had removed the control chip from his head, meaning the doctor could no longer control him. The doctor's revelation made it clear that the dogs were not just attacking randomly, they were taking revenge, and stopping them was nearly impossible. The survivors, now desperate, devised a plan to scare the dogs away by creating a fire. Vaughn managed to contact his boss, who instructed him to bring everyone to the bridge, where a SWAT team would supposedly rescue them. Vaughn suggested calling in snipers to control the situation, but his boss, Jong-hyun, refused. He feared that media coverage of the incident would expose Project Silence, leading to the military's disgrace and tarnishing the department's reputation. Realizing that everyone on the highway knew about Project Silence, Jong-hyun decided not to send the SWAT team at all. His true intention was to let everyone die, preventing any leaks about the project, which he had approved in the first place. The group, unaware of this betrayal, formed another plan to escape. Tensions rose as Joy, in his anger, lashed out at the doctor, blaming him for everything and demanding that he go distract the dogs. However, Min intervened, explaining that sacrificing one person wouldn't help. If the dogs killed one, they'd come for the rest. Instead, they decided to create a trap. They opened the doors of the bus, luring the dogs inside. Once a number of dogs entered, Min quickly triggered the trap, managing to confine the dogs inside the bus. However, while hiding in the luggage compartment, the group discovered that the wife of the elderly couple had died. As the remaining dogs began approaching the compartment, the survivors had no choice but to escape. Vaughn tried to save the old man, but he refused to leave, choosing to stay behind with his deceased wife. Heartbroken, Vaughn left him, watching as the man became a distraction for the dogs, ultimately saving the rest of the group. Vaughn was devastated, having lost 2 people during his mission, powerless to save them. After successfully trapping most of the dogs in the bus, the survivors ran towards the bridge, only to find that no help had arrived. Desperately, Vaughn tried to contact his boss, but there was no response. He sank into despair, sitting in grief. The doctor approached him and revealed a shocking truth. Everything that had happened was part of his boss's plan. Vaughn, feeling utterly betrayed, realized that the person he had trusted the most had lied to him all along. This revelation shattered him completely. Vaughn was merely a pawn in his boss's scheme, used for his own benefit. With no response from the higher-ups, the group decided to come up with their own plan. They realized that to escape, they needed to get to Joy's vehicle, which was on the other side of the road. However, the key to the vehicle was left in the bus, where they had previously trapped the dogs. Now they had to retrieve the key, despite the danger posed by the trapped dogs. The group devised a plan where Vaughn would control the dogs using the laptop, making himself the target to lure the dogs out of the bus. To break the bus window, a golf player in the group repeatedly hit the glass with his ball, eventually shattering it and releasing the dogs. As the dogs charged towards Vaughn, who was standing by the dog container, Joy quickly retrieved the key from the bus. Meanwhile, chaos ensued as the A9 dog, still uncontrollable, suddenly attacked the doctor in revenge for killing its offspring. In the midst of this, the group overlooked the fact that the bridge they were standing on was on the verge of collapsing. The dog's relentless attack on the container caused the bridge's edge to break, sending both the container and Vaughn into the water below. Seeing her father fall, Kyung-min panicked and wanted to use Joy's tow truck to help him. Despite Joy's warning that using the truck might cause the bridge to collapse further, Kyung-min persisted. The A9 dog, distracted by the falling container, rushed towards it, desperate to save one of her pups that had survived. But in her attempt, she too fell into the water. Kyung-min threw the truck's tow rope down to Vaughn, managing to help him climb back up to safety. However, the bridge was collapsing rapidly. In a last-ditch effort, Joy cleverly led the group to the safe zone just before the bridge gave way entirely. As morning broke, they reached the safe zone, where they were greeted by police and media. Among the onlookers was John Hyun, observing the aftermath of the chaos. And as the survivors emerged from the ordeal, John Hyun was devastated. He realized that his ambitions of becoming president were now shattered. Vaughn, furious with John Hyun's betrayal, wasted no time. The moment he saw him, he punched him square in the face, venting his anger. Ji-young Keon, trying to calm the situation, told Vaughn to think about his daughter's future. With a stack of checks in hand, he attempted to buy Vaughn's silence. But Vaughn was not swayed by money, knowing that so many lives had been endangered because of Project Silence. Rejecting the bribe, Vaughn defiantly told John Hyun to keep his money. Determined to expose the truth, Vaughn stepped in front of the media and revealed everything about Project Silence. As the scene cut, we saw E9, the dog who had been the center of the chaos, safely leading her surviving pup to the bank of a canal. With her mission accomplished, the film came to a close, leaving viewers reflecting on the price of ambition and the power of survival. The credits rolled, ending this intense journey.